Ah, money, 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 the great motivator. There is simply no better way to move men and expedite plans than with its alluring glint. Would you not agree?
Welcome my friends of crafting, gathering and basically all Gil-making in general. As some of you may have heard already, on next Tuesday Square will release the Savage Raid tier for the first Pandemonium division Asphodelos. So there will be a lot of content accompanying this, featuring new crafted battle gear, new weekly tomestones, new crafted gear and of course all the insane amounts of guild changing places with these facts. For that reason, let us get prepared for what I consider to be the Gil event in Endwalker with untold proportions. However, let us start with those things you can prepare if you don't care about crafting or gathering, but still want to make a really solid Gil profit with progenies of the patch. As I was totally invested into battle content, leveling jobs, farming gear and all that stuff, I was constantly buying and selling materia. Dude, you're not going to fool us with materia stockpiling again, don't you? Yeah, basically I will, because this time I can tell you. While the start of Endwalker led people to melt in stuff in big numbers, this will be on the next level in patch 6.05, because hardcore raiders will have their crafters ready to craft and pentamelt all the insane item level 580 battle job gear, which will lead to the market being drained off of materia completely. But as we're always talking about the question of demand and supply, just ask yourself if you have bought or sold more materia in Endwalker and which of these alternatives you assume for most players playing in the upcoming patch. Yes, for a very wide proportion of the player base, Savage Gear or Pentamelted crafted battle gear won't be an option, but at least if by any chance you find yourself on My Realm Shiva or the Data Center Lite, I know a certain Gil hoarder that has at least 514 million Gil ready to pentamelt his caster jobs. Above that, pentamelting is not a time-consuming process of hours of re-clicking the stupid pentamelting button anymore, as they have made it into a one-click process now, as well as having access to pentamelting in the same way you have for repairing your gear or melding in materia normally, by having a crafter on the level of the item you're working on. So, while I cannot assure you the big profit and if all of this will be the case, if by any chance you can find materia below 40,000 Gil, go for it. And that of course also means if you're granted the benefit of having A-rank trains or hunt events being done on your server, join them and grind the hell out of these A-rank targets, because those cracked Antho clusters are even better than buying out specific materia. Because here you're able to stockpile a choice instead of a set individual materia, so if determination is much more demanded than crit, you're ready for it. So complete your duty roulettes with a favorite role or A-rank trains to receive these. Above that, you can also stockpile your sack of nuts. These are not standing in a good exchange value to materia as it stands now, but when prices might take a single materia to 10k per piece, a full stock of nuts might turn out to be more rewarding than it ever did. Nonetheless, there's another way of receiving Gil with battle content, basically by stockpiling as much aphorism tomestones as you possibly can. The reason for this is materials that crafters will need for the new recipes and battle gear are being sold by the aphorism trader, and according to the experience we could already gather in SHADOWBRINGERS, this is an insane amount of Gil at the very beginning, even more than materia is, and without an actual investment or risk of failure. Because nobody can prepare any more than just simply stockpiling their aphorism tomestones, and once that supply is consumed, prices will rise and your profit might explode. Just when looking at prices of earlier crafter materials we could farm from bicolor gemstones, we might see something similar in the range of 1,000 to 10,000 per piece, which means with the same conversion rate we had in SHADOWBRINGERS, so 20 tomestones of aphorism for one item, a whole cap of aphorism tomestones might reward you with up to 1 million Gil. So, to be prepared, stack up aphorism tomestones if you don't need to catch up with gear for any job, and I will inform you about those ingredients with the highest value on Tuesday. Trust me, this method in general is a no-brainer and will work to 100%, just the margin of profit may differ on each server. But this is not the end. Furthermore, you can prepare and pre-complete this week's Wondrous Tales because it offers a very solid amount of aphorism tomestones if you got one line with stickers, and you're able to keep it through the weekly reset, so having 2 books available on the next Tuesday. Alright, next up, bicolor gemstones. These might not be super relevant on the real endgame crafting business, but if there's only one material received from gemstone traders that is part of the new recipes, its value might skyrocket. So if by any chance you're still leveling ores from time to time to receive these gemstones by doing fates, Stack 1k of them and unlock all gemstone traders in each zone, that as well as unlocking certain ranks to make them offer more stock to you. This could lead to a very solid investment, and in the worst case there might be crafters that are upping their leveling game with new gear and recipes coming in, so you can at least catch demand of those people with your supply of gemstones. In summary, just stack up all the currencies you can, and that might be exchanged against anything connected to the new recipes, materia, or to the crafter leveling experience, as these departments will see heavy fluctuations. Which leads us to the big Gil business. No, I'm not lying this time. The possible chances on Tuesday to become a Gil billionaire in Final Fantasy are connected to a well-crafted crafting preparation. On the other hand, let me tell you this. I never made more than an initial 20 million Gil on patch days or weeks, while still investing an insane amount of time, energy or theory crafting, market board analysis and spending hours with crafting efforts. For example, my 1 billion Gil come from patience and consistency. So if you have patch day anxiety, nothing is being taken away if you're not preparing efficiently or not going all in on Tuesday. Large coins are received by endurance, not hasty investments. However, the first thing you should make sure is to level up your crafter jobs, either by just doing leaf quests or simply by crafting base materials, or a combination of both. While some people aim for jobs like culinarian to craft buff food or alchemist to create pots and alcasts, I would still aim for weaver, leatherworker, armorer, blacksmith, goldsmith or carpenter, simply from the fact that each of them will have access to new recipes for crafting gear as well as battle accessories, armor and weapons. But in all honesty, the best outcome is to have leveled up all of them, because like it always will be, base materials required for each craft will be found on 2 jobs at least, and these are interdependent to each other, with the alchemist providing alcasts, the WD-40 to all the other crafting recipes, so as you can see there's no wrong job to level up first. Just remember that each process you're doing, each refining step, and time investment as well as the higher skill level to complete recipes will increase the value of your product. So high quality crafts that you can sell as a finished product and somebody can use it right off the bat will result in the highest reward possible. Which means, if you can make base materials to supply all the crafters out there, good. If you can craft high quality base materials on a high variety with backup for price fluctuations, very good. But when you're able to sell a piece of high quality battle gear without spending too much on the materials needed, this is the deal, my friends. And remember, don't focus too much on crafting the new crafter gear, because like I said, other crafters are not your target group. They will naturally craft it by themselves or will have prepared it in the same way as you did, or simply just don't want to spend these astronomical Gil values on patch day gear. So fighting gear is what we're looking for. There will be way more people out there that just want to easily round up their equipment by one very powerful piece of gear that has good stats on it or such, which is also something you can take into account. So naturally, gear pieces with a combination of 2 of the following stats, critical hit, direct hit or determination, will be hot stuff. Just remember to check prices and supply before each expensive craft, as you should always avoid being too close to your profit with your materials expenditure. Alright, that out of the way, what should you prepare when it comes to crafting gear? Basically get yourself a set of either script gear or the recent highest level crafted gear with some good melts in there. Otherwise, I'm personally thinking about waiting for 6.05 crafter gear, biting the bullet and buying it out and hopping over the whole gear preparation aspect now. So you might want to upgrade your gear anyways to be able to perform efficient rotations and crafting macros. But whatever you decide for yourself, make sure to stockpile white crafter scripts and maybe even purple crafter scripts, because the new recipes can be received by either one of these, where white crafter scripts are more supposable. And according to the old Shadowbringers calculations that Square will be sticking to, one master book containing all the recipes for the job of your choice will cost 1,200 of these scripts. And to get these scripts, please don't spend tons of Gil on recent collectibles, just use a very cheap level 70 recipe and mass produce it. This might grant you 1/3 of the scripts of the high one, but will cost you way less Gil to craft it. The best thing though, you can make use of your trained eye ability, which lets you max out your quality on recipes 10 levels below your recent level by one click. Then just use 1 or 2 groundworks and you are done. 2k white scripts in less than 4 minutes without spending more than 10k Gil. But if you want to spend even less effort, just visit Slowy or other weekly script NPCs that I always stick to get my own script limits maxed out. And as gatherer, make sure to get your gear to a comfortable level as well and unlock certain nodes by recipes in Radz-at-Han. But as I'm really still a gatherer newcomer, you should check out other creators on this regard. And that's basically it for the essentials. Surely leveling up your favorite job to be prepared is a no-brainer, right? On that regard, you might want to check out Mr. Happy's video about possible savage mechanics coming in the new raid. And when looking at Gil-making and crafting preparations, I can only recommend to check out SHADOWBRINGERS and subscribe to his channel, as during the course of me following him, he made at least 4 billion Gil. And it might be way more now, and I basically learned all my in-depth crafting knowledge from this man. So definitely the best source to prepare getting rich. Besides that, just enjoy next week's patch, as I will keep you updated with all the info and Gil-making opportunities as quick as possible to reduce stress on your in-game enjoyment while still trying to help you out in increasing the size of your purse. So stick around for more info coming next week, and until then, stay safe, stay healthy, and keep loving Final Fantasy.